Welcome to the Bluestocking Circle podcast, Lady Nerds on Popular Culture. We're your hosts, B,
Gricel,
and Kat.
This is Minisode 27.5, Follow-Up and First Impressions. We have a very exciting follow-up today. First of all, I am extremely happy to announce that Kat is joining us as co-host. Yay!
Yay! I'm so excited.
We're excited you're joining us. Kat, what sort of picks can we expect from you in the future?
I would say campy, macabre, and classics.
Interesting mix.
A wide variety.
Are there any that are all three?
Ooh.
That's strange.
Maybe.
Well, Kat will be hosting her first episode in 2020.
Yay.
So you can expect her campy macabre classics in a few months. For now, Gricel, I know you watched something inspired by a certain GIF.
I did.
You're already giggly and we've already started.
I still can't listen to that blooper without remembering the GIF. So, yes, I went out immediately and sought out a copy of And Then There Were None, and I watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have to say that it was very well shot. I really enjoyed how it really blended some of the creepy psychological horror and the spy, well, not really spy mystery, but the closed room mystery of the story. I went back and I checked out the book after I had seen the movie because I was intrigued enough to want to know more about it. And I was really surprised and very pleased to find that it's an excellent adaptation. Like, it very nearly is shot for shot matching up with the book, except for the ending where the book had to take a different turn because there's no way for you to understand how anything happens if you just read the book. So there is a little bit of an epilogue that happens to explain how things happen. But it was a very enjoyable read, a very enjoyable watch. I would like to actually watch it again, but I lent it to somebody who was very intrigued by the film. So they're watching it now. But when I get it back, I would like to watch it again, having read the book and kind of like follow the clues as I go along.
That is an amazing recommendation.
Yes.
Is that a rare 5-sock rating?
Yes, it's totally a 5-sock rating.
Wow.
It was really, really, really good.
Well, I have heard from several people who were inspired to watch it after that GIF. That is a very persuasive
The
GIF.
GIF is very persuasive. But beyond the GIF, it's really well acted.
Yeah, everyone has really enjoyed it.
Absolutely excellent.
I'm glad to hear it.
Dang, I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to have to get it from the library soon. It's not streaming anywhere. I did try to see if it was streaming.
Hard to find. I had to look around and I had to order it through the library.
I did search.
It seems to me like PBS is constantly playing it.
Really?
I have never come across this at all.
I never see it.
I don't know. I think it's because you stay up really late.
Probably.
And I'm an
I feel like it's always playing at 2 a.m. on
Oh,
PBS.
yeah. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah. While watching, I also realized that I was really remiss in not recommending Bleak House, which is my favorite Charles Dickens. I'm not a Dickens enthusiast overall, but I really enjoy Bleak House. And it's my second favorite Victorian mystery after The Woman in White, which I have mentioned ad nauseum, although I have yet to watch the series.
I have seen the series. I have yet to read the book.
I think we should do an exchange at some point in the future.
2020
I
pick.
have listened to the audiobook, which is good. And I have not seen any adaptations of it.
We have covered all the modalities. I also continued reading some Agatha Christie, but I went through the Tommy and Tuppence series. I finished the third book, NaNoWriMo, and I'm going to second my own reading recommendation from that episode. Did either of you keep going?
No.
I was too caught up in
Yeah.
the abs.
Well, they are older in this one, like I said, they're in their 40s, and due to plot reasons, they have to work separately for much of the book, which is one of the things that we disliked about The Secret Adversary. But I think the story is actually really good. It takes place during World War II, and Tommy and Tuppence are trying to identify a German spy in a seaside resort while pretending to be other people who don't know each other. It's definitely much more serious than the first two books because of the setting, but they remain as cute as ever, if a little older and a little sadder.
We'd also like to toss in a good luck to anybody who is participating in NaNoWriMo this year. I'm participating myself, and I decided to do something I never do, and I dropped a project in order to start on something that was really just like tickling at the back of my brain. So I am 20,000 some odd words in and going really strong.
That's fantastic. Congratulations, Gricel.
Thank you.
Awesome. I am not doing that. I wish I was, but no. I've never actually done it. I've known a lot of people who have participated, but I've always been on the sideline.
I had my own private NaNoWriMo actually this August. I couldn't do it this November, but I had some spare time during the summer, so I did it then. And I actually have a random reading rec that ties into NaNoWriMo. It's my first 5-sock book of the year, and it's Save the Cat Writes a Novel, the last book on novel writing you'll ever need by Jessica Brody. If you're not familiar with Save the Cat, the original screenwriting book by Blake Snyder, the idea is that there are 15 story beats in every successful movie that you should incorporate in your screenplays. And Brody's book adapts that idea to novel writing. Have you read it, Gricel?
I have read bits and pieces of it. It's very popular and very often cited by different writers. There's a lot of the same themes in other books that I've read, like Goal, Motivation, Conflict is another book. That one is, I want to say, by James Scott Bell, Cam Weiland. Like a few other people also basically reference the same things. It's that idea that there's these very specific beats or archetypes that happen in very successful movies or books, and you kind of just follow along with those. And if you plug those in, you basically have a book.
Yeah, it was an epiphany to me. I haven't read any of those others, so this was my first time encountering that idea. And what I wrote in August was a complete mess. But this book helped me organize the story into a much more coherent second draft.
Every single first draft is a complete mess and will never see the light of day ever. Those second drafts also.
Well, if you're participating in NaNoWriMo, I highly recommend this book. I used it for troubleshooting my plot structure, but you can use it at any stage of the writing process. And if you're just starting out, it might tell you where to go next.
I think it's a good recommendation.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
We also have some feedback today. We received a lovely email from listener M with the subject line objectively ... Excellent ... All caps intended. M wrote, the content you curate is chef's kiss excellent, especially your recommendations. I always look forward to those. Your show brings me joy and gives me life. Thank you for listening, Em, and thanks for your feedback. Your email brought us joy and gave us life.
It really did.
Oh, that's so nice. And putting together the recommendations is always my favorite part, so that's so nice to hear.
I feel like putting the recommendations together is always the hardest part for me because I have to control myself.
I know, yeah. You really have to zero in on the right things.
We were aiming for 1 or 2. Now we're roughly a dozen.
Oh, yeah, no. Keeping track of that list has just grown insane.
Gricel has compiled all those recommendations into a handy table available at thebluestockingcircle.com. And thank you, Gricel, because I know that was not easy.
Ooh,
it was
nice.
not, but you can sort it
Ooh.
to your heart's content.
Nice.
It's an Excel sheet, sort of. It's Google Sheets. Same thing. For our next episode, we'll be heading back to Georgian England as we celebrate that most honourable lady author, Jane Austen,
Again.
and introduce Kat to Pride and Prejudice for the very first time. Yay! I don't know if she's too excited for this. So, Kat, you're a very rare creature among the circle in that you've never seen or read Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. And not only that, but I've never read any Jane Austen. So this is really taking me in a whole new direction.
How's your experience on the Regency?
Not great.
So you've no knowledge of the militiamen who will come to town?
Oh, you know what? I do know some based on Gilbert and Sullivan.
Oh my god. I look forward to that comparison.
Yeah. So there's some crossover there. And
will there be singing?
maybe.
Sophie, you've done some research already?
If by research you mean I watched the 2005 Pride and Prejudice for the 20th time, yes, I've done some research already, Gricel.
Excellent. So this is obviously one of my favorite Jane Austen novels, and I think many other readers point to this one as their favorite Jane Austen. So I look forward to having your thoughts shared on our next episode. So other than the possibility of Pirates of Penzance, what do you know about Pride and Prejudice? Is there anything that you've absorbed in the cultural
I know
knowledge?
the names.
That's it?
Yes.
What names would those be?
Lizzie Bennet
Ooh.
and Darcy.
That's pretty specific.
Yes.
Do you know his first name?
No.
Even the readers often forget
Yeah.
it, so that's okay.
It's not a good one.
It's not a good name. Not a sexy leading man name.
Yeah, I don't really know much else. I feel like my knowledge of Jane Austen is Clueless, which is a different book, so...
Emma, yes.
It is. We all have strong feelings about that one.
Yeah, so that's kind of it. I have no other knowledge about Pride and Prejudice.
What do you know about Mr. Darcy himself from Cultural Osmosis? What are you expecting? Because he's hailed as one of the best romantic heroes of all time.
Okay, I guess I'm expecting a little bit like a Rochester, where it's a romantic lead that's not really that great of a romantic lead. Because when I read Jane Eyre, I'm always just like, is he really that great? But he's gone down in history as being a great lead.
Rochester's terrible.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking that he's like that, where it's been so long that
Rochester apologist.
I'm a Rochester hater, and Darcy's better.
Okay.
Would you agree
But
with
then we do know that, not Jane Bronte, Charlotte Bronte, absolutely abhorred Jane Austen, and specifically went out of her way to not make her characters resemble Jane Austen's.
Ah, okay.
So maybe Rochester has the things she likes about Dorothy as opposed to the ones she hates.
I'm not a total Rochester hater, by the way.
For some people.
I don't think he's great, but I don't totally hate him, so...
Do you know the first line of the book?
No.
Do you know how many sisters there are?
No.
Wow,
that is very little knowledge.
Yes. If this came up in Jeopardy, it would definitely be one of my weak points.
I'm so excited you're going to be introduced to this story. Especially to the movies, because we'll be watching Gricel.
We will be watching the 1995 and the 2005. There are very many split opinions upon these two films. I enjoy them both.
As do I, and I hope you do too, Kat.
I look forward to it.
Will we also be reading the book, Gricel?
Gricel doesn't want homework and says no.
So I think, Kat, you might be the only one to read the book.
I'm going to read it, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way.
I think so. I think you should do your due diligence.
Exactly.
And read the book. The two of us have read it enough times to get by.
Yeah, I feel like I need to cross this off some list, so...
Now you can get that Jeopardy one next time that it comes up.
Exactly.
So we hope you enjoy it. The rest of you, fix yourself some excellent boiled potatoes and mind your hems as we journey to Longbourn with the Bennet sisters. Episode 28, Pride and Prejudice, will be released December 1st. In the meantime, you can find us at thebluestockingcircle.com and on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, and pretty much everywhere at BlueSockCircle. That's Blue SOX Circle. Email us at thebluestockingcircle@gmail.com to join the conversation. We're also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube, so please rate, review, and subscribe to help us grow.
Cheers! We're your hosts, B.
Gricel.
And Kat.
I'm super eager.
I didn't know I was going to introduce myself.
We have a very exciting follow-up today. First of all, I can clap.
Pray your hands.
Interrogator. Ask her what she
What?
knows.
She knows nothing.
I don't.
No, let's inquire. What do you know about Darcy? Prod, poke, probe.